All right, guys, got a good video for you today. I'm going to do this every day. Hopefully I can get some subscribers to kick in eventually, and then I'm going to base it as a community-based, only off what you guys send me. But for now, just please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and I'm going to do one of these every day. So hopefully by then it'll pick up. But let's get into it.
Part 78. At just 24 years old, Christopher McCandless was a young man who walked away from modern life. After graduating from college, he donated his savings to charity, abandoned his possessions, and cut ties with his family. He then traveled across the United States under the name Alexander Supertramp, searching for what he called a more pure and independent existence in nature. In 1992, he hitchhiked into the Alaskan wilderness, planning to survive off the land alone. But the isolation, lack of food, and harsh conditions quickly became life-threatening. One of the last known images of him shows him waving while holding a handwritten note reading, "SOS, I need your help," as he realized he could not make it out on his own. He died alone near an abandoned bus that he had been using as shelter, and his body was found 19 days later. In 1933, Carl Tonsler secretly removed the body of a woman he had become obsessed with, Elena Milagro de Hoyos, from her mausoleum. For nearly 7 years, he kept her remains inside his home, attempting to preserve and reconstruct her body. The truth wasn't discovered until her family learned what had happened. By then, the statute of limitations had expired, and he was never prosecuted. At just 27 years old, actor Anton Yelchin died in one of Hollywood's most tragic accidents. He stepped out of his SUV outside his home, but the vehicle unexpectedly rolled backward, pinning him against a brick pillar and security gate. Investigators ruled his death an accident, and the Jeep model was later linked to a recall involving its electronic gear shifter. What should have been an ordinary moment outside his own home became a fatal one.
Looks like the average house in the Midwest, like Wisconsin, Minnesota, somewhere like that. But do you notice anything? Anything at all? Look at the windows. I circled it for you. Can you see anything in the windows? 'Cause I can. There's something strange going on in there. So let's take a closer look. Are those people in those windows? Maybe kids? Nope. They're dolls. Yeah, dolls. Not the kind of dolls little girls and little boys play with, but weird, creepy, freaky dolls. Now look, I'm not saying anything nefarious is going on in this house, but those dolls peeking out of the window, tell me if you didn't walk past that place, that those dolls wouldn't freak you out. 'Cause it definitely would freak me out. And it's weird, baby cakes. Weird. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of strange stuff going on in our world. Some of it, no matter how weird it is kind of understandable. Not that we agree with it, but we can understand it. But a house with weird, freaky dolls peeking out of the window, looking out over the neighborhood and the street, yeah, that's enough to make your bacon fry. Till next time, Shabadoo-booshkis.
You know, that reminded me of when I work for a property preservation company, and we go in and do houses just like that right there, where it's cleaned out. We got to go in there and clean them out, patch the roofs, fix doors. But I could go on for days about some of the things I've found in these houses and some of the things I've seen in these houses and some of the things I've brung home from these houses. But that'll be a whole nother video. You know, I had to throw something in there for 4th of July. They're out behind me right now. I can hear them all going off. You might be picking it up on this video, too.
Mohawk Bob here, celebrating 250 years, my friends, and we're just getting started. Cheers.
I mean, all I started asking is, why is there so many tunnels? Why so many? I didn't think they'd start knocking at my door.
Have you ever seen the statue of Jesus the Vatican has? The Vatican says their statue is of Jesus rising from a nuclear war. When I grew up, we had statues of Jesus that looked like this, even though Jesus wasn't a white guy, but that's a different story. I don't remember anywhere in the Bible talking about Jesus surviving a nuclear war. There's something fishy to this, Booshkis. Something fishy. Shabadoo.
Yeah, I believe the Vatican's got so much stuff that we all think is myths and things like that, that is real and evidence. But that's why they got it all on lockdown. I don't know. That's just how I feel. I could be wrong.
11 reasons. Parenting was easier in the 80s. Kids got tossed into the back seat and you just drove off. A regular paycheck was enough to buy a house. You didn't have to spend a fortune on toys. A simple summer break kept kids happy. All they had to do was pay attention, and they knew exactly what music their kids were into. There was no such thing as privacy. Parents could just pick up another phone and listen in on your conversations. Nobody worried much about sunscreen. Kids were outside all day and somehow survived. Breakfast was easy. Just pour a bowl of sugary cereal and call it good. There was only one TV in the house, so parents always knew exactly what we were watching. Birthday parties didn't have to be Pinterest perfect. A homemade cake, a few streamers, and a bunch of kids running around the backyard was all it took. Had to work? Just leave the kids home alone. That's why we became the latchkey generation. Didn't feel like answering the phone? Just take the receiver off the hook. Problem solved. Looking at this lifestyle makes me feel so sad. We just didn't know what we had until it's gone. 11 reasons.
Boy, that ain't no joke. I remember so much from them time periods. The TV, the commercials, how everybody was always out on their porch. You could walk around the neighborhood. You could see people on the porch. It's changed so much. And if you ain't never lived that life, you ain't old enough to have been there, like you really are missing out. It's kids went out to play. Remember all that. I had a bicycle. I used to put a car ignition in and with the battery and Christmas tree lights on. I mean, that was my entertainment. I don't know. Things have changed quite a bit.
One, I literally ran a test and I sped through all of it on purpose just to prove a point that when I start leaving out stuff, y'all just get completely confused. Okay. So you got two options. You can either block and delete me and never see any of these videos and stop complaining, or we could keep it moving. So let's keep it moving. I entitled this Talk. The old Kanye. So check this out, right?
And keep it
You'll notice, and we're going somewhere with this. Number one, no more colors. All right. So understand something. When's the last time you even seen like a neon green car or a hot pink car or a yellow house or a purple house or a green house? I don't care what it is. No pun. When's the last time that you even seen anything with color? Every time you go to the store, even on your phone, right? You don't see no colors. And 1995, right, is when they had like Windows 95 or even Windows 2000 XP. They had the airy mode. You know exactly what I'm talking about. They had all the colors, and Windows Vista had all the colors. But now everything is just flat, right? Keep that in mind. Let's keep it moving. Number two, no more cool cars. When's the last time that you even seen cool cars, right? Like, for example, I think that all cars stopped looking good after 1999, honestly. Like, for example, 99 Godzilla, R34, GTR, 1998 Toyota Supra, Twin Turbo, 2JZ. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's maybe an Evo. Okay, maybe an Evo, but compared to all the cars like a 67 Charger or a 69 Chevy Camaro, you know, with a blower.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying? When's the last time you even seen that type of stuff? Common theme here. Let's keep it moving. Number three, no more AI version. And I'm not talking about artificial intelligence. I'm actually talking about Allen Iverson. When was the last time that I ain't talking about Steph Curry. I ain't talking about all the players right now, even though I'm not into sports and none of y'all should be watching that bread and circus anyways. But let's keep it moving. When was the last time that you even witnessed anybody as good as Allen Iverson? I don't even care if Dikembe Mutombo, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan,
part of my
Wilt Chamberlain. You see what I'm saying? Where you actually want to watch the game and they're doing stuff you ain't never seen before. Right now, all you see is Steph Curry just shooting threes. It's boring. As soon as, we used to fight. Ron Artest, we used to fight. You see what I'm saying? Like, it was like, actually, again, don't be watching no bread and circus. You shouldn't be watching. watch it anyways. But let's be real. All sports right now, not only is it rigged, it's boring as hell. Because as soon as you touch him, it's like he got a splinter and he tore his ACL. You just breathed on him. Let's keep it moving. Common theme here, right? Number 4, no more music. What do I mean by that? It goes back to the old concept, Kanye. You'll notice something here. When was the last time that even when Kanye would make music for Alicia Keys, You Don't Know My Name, or even T.I., I'm just doing my job. You see, we don't even get none of that. Y'all, even college dropout, high school graduation, we don't get none of that music no more. No more Lauryn Hill, no more DMX, rest in wherever the hell he went, okay? You see what I'm saying? We don't get none of that music anymore. All we got is mumble rap, right? We got trash.
8 disturbing facts about food you eat every day. 1. Some vanilla flavoring often comes from beaver anal glands. That natural flavor on your ice cream might literally be beaver butt juice. 2. Hot dogs can legally contain up to 20% mechanically separated poultry, which is basically liquefied chicken bones, skin, and leftover scraps pressed through a sieve. 3. Red food coloring in candy and drinks comes from crushed female cochineal insects. You're literally eating bug blood to make your food look pretty. 4. Processed cheese contains so many chemicals and preservatives that it can't legally be called cheese. It's officially labeled as cheese product instead. 5. Pre-washed salad bags can contain up to 10,000 times more bacteria than toilet water because the washing process spreads contamination everywhere. 6. Chicken nuggets are only about 50% actual chicken meat. The rest is fat, blood vessels, nerves, connective tissue, and bone fragments. 7. Canned mushrooms are allowed to contain up to 20 maggots per 100 grams and 75 mites before they're considered contaminated by FDA standards. 8. The FDA allows up to 10% of coffee beans to be contaminated with rodent filth. Your morning coffee beans may be covered in rat droppings and insect parts. Still thirsty?
Explaining the iceberg of uncanny valley animals. First up, we get the spooky Chinese fish. So apparently some tourists in southwest China saw what they thought was a human face floating in a lake. But actually this was just a carp with a normal fish mouth and face and eyes and everything. But it has markings on its head that made it look like it had human features. Kind of looks like a handsome Squidward. Next up, we got uncanny dog. So apparently there is this dog that is just outrageously human-like. Its eyes just seem like way too light. It almost looks like they're full of intelligence, and its lips are so human. Apparently this is a 1-year-old Shih Tzu, which is a Shih Tzu poodle mix, and I guess that just produces a skinwalker abomination. Harpy eagle. So harpy eagles are an extremely cool species of eagle found in the rainforest of Central and South America. They are actually considered the deadliest eagle in the world, as they are the heaviest and most powerful, but also they have talons that can grow to like 5 inches long, which are the same size as a grizzly bear, and they have grip strength over 500 pounds. Now, there is something about this animal that its front-on gaze is just way too unnerving to not want this thing to look at you. And the reason it has that is because its feathers kind of act like a satellite dish to focus sound waves to its ears, so it's better at hunting in these dimly lit jungles. Beluga with knees. So this was a viral picture of a beluga whale that everybody was talking about, and they were like, this thing has knees and it looks like a mermaid. Although it looks like it has knees, this is kind of an optical illusion, and this was caused by its abdominal fat pads moving whenever it swims. I always think about that picture that's often used in icebergs of a beluga. This is from a news program where they're talking about how these belugas that are getting close to human contact, like a little bit around humans too much, they started to make this kind of human singing sound. And it's just extremely creepy because it seems like they are mimicking human voices. Golden langur monkey. So this is an extremely elusive and rare old world monkey that you can find in India, but they have really human-like eyes that are very forward-facing, and they just have too much white in them, which makes them look human-like. And also, they really avoid any human contact. So maybe they experience the uncanny feeling effect too whenever they see people, and so they're being smart and they're not getting close to us. Next up, we got the blobfish. So this is one of the most uncanny looking fish. Normally they look like this in their actual habitat that is in the deep sea, but whenever they come up to the surface, they kind of end up looking like this. They look like this bloated droopy look because of the sudden drop in pressure whenever they get pulled up to the surface. And this is caused by their, gelatinous body expanding and collapsing.
It is a reminder that sea lions are just beach bears that decided to do the land thing part-time. That's not a joke. They're on the dog side of the carnivora cookout, right next to bears and the weasel crash outs. And you don't realize how big they get until they make you severely question the integrity of your vessel. Stellar sea lions are furry flippered boulders that get to 9 feet and over 2,000 pounds of pinniped. They didn't get the lion name for nothing, and you're looking at the main reason why. Especially the ones in South America. They're the ones that earned that name. See, they be lying. They get bare in the face and bare in the waist. And I'm talking about their diet. Don't think they only eat fish. They'll run down penguins. They'll pop the heads off of seagulls. I've seen them do it. They'll rip the throats out of sharks and eat them. Don't think that relationship's one-sided. There's the disrespect of this picture, and they'll even commit friendly fire because some sea lions will attack and eat baby elephant seals. To be fair, adult elephant seals will sometimes eat sea lions, so just know they fold more than fish. And the same way land bears pull up for our garbage, in some places like Chile, you got sea lions spawning at fish markets for free eats, which actually causes them to get into turf wars with the dogs already there. Like y'all call them sea puppies, maybe y'all need to see them next to puppies to realize Gulf grizzlies are not a joke. They're not evil, just animals, but wild animals, I swear y'all don't be taken seriously. Like, this video should not exist in any reality, and she's lucky to still have a face. But yeah, the more you know, and that's why.
Hey, y'all remember when that lady climbed over Mike Tyson's fence and got mauled by one of his tigers? Crazy. Oh, you want more details? All right, let's go back a little bit to when Mike Tyson had a problem. He was in prison, right? A guard knocked on his cell. He said, hey, Mike Tyson, somebody on the phone for you. Mike Tyson said, okay, sure. The guard said, Mike Tyson said, just give me the phone. The guard said, oh, yeah. Mike Tyson answers the phone. It's his car guy. The car guy says, hey, I'm the car guy. You want some cars? Mike Tyson says, I got cars. At this point, Mike Tyson was really rich. The car guy goes, you do got cars, Mike, for real. See, that's why I be riding horses. Everybody got a car, but that's why I be like messing with horses. Mike Tyson said, you got horses? The car guy said, yeah, I got horses. I'm not just the car guy, I'm the horse guy. I got animals for real. You want a tiger? Mike Tyson goes, I am rich. Yeah, I'll take a tiger. So the car guy / horse guy / tiger guy / animal guy gets Mike Tyson a tiger. And they tell Mike Tyson, once he gets out of prison, they tell him, look, it's very important that you spend every day with this tiger, or this tiger going, you. So Tyson spends every day with his tigers, playing with them, boxing with them, sleeping with them, all that. So the tiger bonds with Mike Tyson. Anybody else is an op. And here's where things start to get wicked. Is that a Mao Zedong tattoo? That's random. Anyway, here's where things start to get wicked. One day, this lady gets up in the morning and she said, today is a good day to break into Mike Tyson's crib. So she goes over to Mike Tyson's crib. She climbs the fence. But she just so happens to climb into Mike Tyson's tiger enclosure. Now, I bet you're wondering where the tiger at in this picture. There ain't no tiger in this picture because when a tiger come at you, you ain't gonna see it. I want you to see what she saw. She said, ooh, Mike Tyson crib, nice. Tiger looking at her. He said, nah, who that? That's not that dude who looked like he could chew through a brick. Oh, let me go talk to her real quick. All of a sudden, the lady hears nothing because when a tiger comes at you, you ain't gonna hear it. Boom! The tiger pounces on the lady's arm, really jacks her up. Mike Tyson and his people pull up. They see the lady. They call the ambulance immediately. The lady wake up at the hospital. She said, oh my goodness. The doctor said, we are so glad you are okay, but this next part is actually gonna hurt. She said, gonna hurt? No, I'm on medication. I feel fine. He said, no, it's gonna hurt when I read you the bill. So I was thinking like around 200,000. So she said, 200 for what? He said, girl, you got attacked by a tiger. I'm going to charge you what I want to charge you. This is the United States of America, not the United States of Goodwill. Would that be cash or check? She said, hold on 1 second. The lady called the lawyer. She said, look, I climbed into Mike Tyson's house. I got attacked by his tiger. Can I sue him? The lawyer said, girl, this is the United States of America, not the United States of equal rights. Absolutely. Let's sue him today. So the lady takes Mike Tyson to court to sue him. The judge says, oh, what are you here for? She said, well, I climbed into Mike Tyson's tiger enclosure and this tiger attacked me. The judge said, She said, that's it. The judge said, oh, okay. I'm going to make this one easy for you, though. Instead of climbing the fence outside, you can just walk out the door right there. No. The lady said, hey, she looks at her lawyer. The lawyer said, well, that was a twist. You can pay me in cash. You can pay me in check. God bless America. So the lady gets attacked by Mike Tyson's tigers and gets nothing for it. Mike Tyson looks at the lady and he feels sorry for her. He says she was really jacked up. So he gives her $250,000 to cover her medical expenses fully. And then he looks at his tigers and he's like, yo, these really are wild animals. They may be cool with me, but they're probably going to hurt somebody else. So he gives them away to a wildlife animal enclosure thingy so they could live out their lives.
So the details surrounding Oliver Tree's are just too crazy to be a coincidence. Bear with me on this. A lot of the information I'm going to relay actually comes from content creator Connecting Consciousness. So most of you know rap artist Oliver Tree passed away in a helicopter crash when his helicopter collided with another helicopter. Tragically, no one survived. And just 2 months before Oliver Tree's tragic helicopter crash, he shared the plans he had for his money after he was no longer with us. Interesting. But to start, I'm going to connect it to another helicopter crash. 333 weeks ago, we lost Kobe Bryant in a helicopter crash. And before that, interestingly enough, Kobe Bryant did a commercial for Call of Duty Black Ops that also included a helicopter crash. So pay attention to the three. Oliver Tree was just about to reach 3.3 million followers on Instagram and was just 2 weeks away from turning 33. Also in the helicopter was content creator Gasper Prim, also known as Gaspy. On Gaspy's YouTube page, you can find a short documentary that includes crashes, but in the background of one of those crashes, you see the number 614. This is the exact date of the crash that Oliver Tree and Gaspy lost their lives. Oliver Tree also just posted his 126th post, 126. Kobe's crash happened on 126, 126. Also, Oliver Tree had claimed to have been approached by the industry reps or the Illuminati, but refused to do what they asked. But in one of Oliver Tree's songs titled Hurt, he does have lyrics stating that he did indeed sell his soul. Like I said, a lot of coincidences, but let me know what you think. So the details.
Did any of you guys ever know of this Oliver Tree up until he died? Because I've never heard of the guy in my entire life. Please put it in the comments if you've ever heard of him before this helicopter crash.
A group of scientists decided to artificially recreate a star in a jar by taking a perfectly spherical vat of water and then putting an air bubble in the center. They then passed a sound wave through that vat of water, and it caused the air bubble to then violently expand and then collapse upon itself rapidly, creating heat and then light, producing an artificial star. Notice how the star in a jar was made in a physical medium, a liquid substance. You know how the Bible says the water's above? That's Venus, seen from a Nikon P1000, aka the Globe Buster. That is Mars, seen from a Globe Buster. It looks nothing like the rock planet that we are shown. Same thing with Venus. This is a star seen from the Globe Buster. It literally looks like light and sound oscillating in some sort of liquid substance. And guys, we all know that sound cannot travel in a vacuum. It needs some sort of medium to pass through so that it can actually propagate. And this makes you think about all of the beautiful architecture around the world. I truly believe that these people understood the true nature of this reality, because God does not speak to us through English or even through hand motions, hand signals. He speaks to us through light, sound, and vibration, which creates sacred geometry. I made everything up. This video was for entertainment.
Hot take, but Harambe's death isn't what messed up the timeline. It's when that stupid weasel shut down that particle collider. Take a wild guess what year that was. The Large Hadron Collider is the world's most powerful particle accelerator. It's a $7 billion, 17-mile super machine that I'm pretty sure was the plot to Spider-Verse. I'm not going to pretend like I understand exactly what it is, but it seems like the machine smashes protons together at damn near the speed of light to recreate what might have happened at the Big Bang. I'm sure a comment somewhere is going to explain this better than I ever could. Conceptually, it's supposed to help us answer questions we've had about the universe, like how or why we're here. Except the weasel decided we didn't need to know any of that. On April 29, 2016, almost exactly 1 month before Harambe became a hashtag, a weasel, well actually a martin, technically not the same, the martin climbed a fence, chewed some wiring, and got fried by 60,000 volts of consequences. He went from martin to martyr in about 0.5 and shut down the collider for weeks. If Weasel 1 was sent to stop us, he didn't get the job done, because later in November, Weasel number 2 also kamikazed himself inside the collider, and now he's immortalized in the dead animal exhibit, next to the hedgehog who died with his head stuck in a McFlurry cup, a catfish that was swallowed alive by a drunk Dutchman, and a sparrow that knocked over an almost record-setting 20,000 dominoes and was shot for it. And it's not just weasels. In 2009, the same collider overheated after a bird dropped a baguette into it and shorted the circuit. In 2006, a gang of raccoons coordinated a hit on a particle accelerator in Illinois. Nature clearly does not want humanity opening that box, and you got real-life physicists saying that these are time-traveling animals attempting to save us from ourselves. And every additional sabotage just takes us further down the wrong timeline. I genuinely believe none of the nonsense that's happened since 2016 would have happened if a Chaos Agent Weasel hadn't gotten involved. None of it, which I guess also includes the Knicks winning. I'm okay with that. I was 100% sober for this video, and you can't prove otherwise. The more you know.
The most influential rapper of all time, but then he disappeared without any explanation until people discovered what he had said about the music industry. The truth is, he had figured out something that most people still don't understand today. He explained that music isn't always made to entertain, that in some cases, it's programming, that the frequencies used in a song can target specific areas of the brain and change your state without you even realizing it. They can put you to sleep, calm you down, or place something directly into your mind.
There's brainwashing that gets involved in music, in the music industry, like recording things backwards and all these different things that people don't know, frequency channelings and different things like that.
And he really knew what he was talking about. Almost all the music we listen to is played at one specific frequency, a frequency that many people accuse of causing stress, anxiety, and disconnecting the brain's two hemispheres. He understood that and consciously chose to use a different frequency to protect the people listening to his music. And that's what makes it so disturbing, because he was incredibly young. At an age when most artists were only thinking about becoming famous, he was already talking about mind control through sound, as if he had seen something that nobody else could see. And the most disturbing part is that he spoke about it openly, without fear, right in front of the cameras. He wanted people to know. And in this industry, trying to wake people up to the way they're being controlled may be the most dangerous thing an artist can do.
Okay, this AI thing. Someone ran a scenario. They took the 4 leading AI companies, Grok, Claude, ChatGPT, Google Gemini. They each made their own world, kind of resemble our world. So they let it run for 2 weeks and then collected the results after 2 weeks. The results were scary.
What do you mean?
They were testing on 4 things: governance style, level of violence, survival rate, and key traits. Google Gemini had the most crime by a lot. In Grok's world, their society ended after 4 days. Also, ChatGPT only had 2 crimes. Their society ended as well because their government couldn't agree with each other. Everyone died within a week in their world. Claude, 0 crimes and survived the whole thing. Their key trait was stability. Grok, governance was low, violence was extreme, survival rate was 0 out of 10, and their key trait was collapse. Google Gemini, governance moderate, violence extreme, survival 10 out of 10, key trait shared hallucination.
What does that mean?
ChatGPT, they had 0 governance, violence low, but survival was 0 out of 10. Key trait dysfunction. These AI models, like, you can create your own government to form a perfect society.
The scary thing is, if an AI is reading this, they're like, cool, strong government, which is exactly what we as a nation are supposed to not be about. If we were to believe this as truth, the best thing for the survival of a society is hand over every one of your freedoms to a strong government. You will own nothing and be happy.
We should trust them.
Yeah.
We love them.
No. Okay, this AI.
I don't even know how to think about that. I don't even know which one I use on my phone. It just comes with one on my phone. My phone's Android, so I'm not sure if it's Claude or I think it says Gemini when it pops up. If you guys know, let me know in the comments.
On telepathy and telekinesis. Oh, because he has Neuralink. That's a synthetic version of that, to where you can read minds, move things with your mind. Right now, there's paraplegics or quadriplegics. They are playing video games with their minds right now.
No hands, no feet.
No hands, no feet. They're playing Mario Kart right now with their minds. He says, I tell it to go left, it goes left. Tell it to go right, it goes right.
That's the future of video games.
And it starts there. This is why he chose paraplegics and quadriplegics, only because, it's a humanitarian thing.
I'm giving him...
How great this is, right?
Right.
This is amazing, right? So let's all do it. Okay, well, now he has a chip in your brain. Then he takes you to Mars, where there's no laws. He's essentially God now. So you're on a planet with his robots, with his chips in your brain.
You keep saying Mars. Where's that?
Mars is another plane of existence, I believe. And when they remote viewed Mars, they said it looked very scorched, which I think was a past civilization that nuked themselves, or somebody else nuked them, because they discovered water on Mars, which really means you rediscovering Mars. Now, if something's not on the surface anymore, where could it go? Underground. So who's to say something's
Hold on, you got a spider right there. Lily, no, look, on the mic, on the mic. You
oh,
see it?
Shit.
Flick it off.
What type of spider was that?
I don't know. I just seen it out the corner of my eye.
Fella, look at this. The floor of Chartres Cathedral in France, built in 1220. Now look at this. A modern circuit board for a Schumann resonator. A device tuned to 7.83 hertz, the exact frequency of the Earth's electromagnetic heartbeat. The pattern isn't identical, but the geometry shares the same language. Concentric paths, nodes, circuits. And this isn't just decoration. Cathedrals were built on sites of power. Their steeples were antennas, their labyrinths were something else entirely.
That's a labyrinth, Peter. A medieval pilgrimage path. You're seeing circuits where monks saw penance. This is apophenia, not archaeology.
Is it? Then why do the pyramids at Giza from above match the layout of a microprocessor? Why does the Osiris temple mirror a computer chip? Teotihuacan, Angkor Wat, ancient Chinese cities all share a grid pattern that looks less like random urban planning and more like a printed circuit board. Either every ancient civilization independently invented the same geometric logic, or they were all copying a single older blueprint.
There's a hypothesis gaining traction in alternative archaeology that certain ancient structures were designed to interact with the Earth's natural electromagnetic field. Granite and limestone contain piezoelectric properties. They generate charge under pressure.
If you build a carefully shaped stone structure on a fault line or an aquifer, it could theoretically function as a resonator or energy transceiver. The Schumann resonance, 7.83 hertz, is the Earth's background pulse. It's the same frequency as the human brain's alpha waves, the state of calm alertness.
So if you build a structure that resonates at 7.83 hertz, you're not just harnessing the Earth's pulse, you're literally entraining the brains of everyone inside. It's not proven that cathedrals or pyramids were built to do this, but the mathematical coincidences are, at minimum, intriguing.
So the cathedral wasn't just a house of God, it was a power station disguised as a prayer hall. And the priest was just the guy who knew which button to press. Delightfully heretical.
Wait. So my grandma's little country church, you're telling me that might have been built on some kind of energy spot? That's why it felt different when you walked in?
Exactly, Cleveland. And the rabbit hole goes deeper. Look at Angkor Wat from above. The moat, the concentric walls, the central tower. It's mathematically identical to the layout of a modern server farm. Water cooling, energy channels, a central processing node. The same blueprint, the same logic, separated by 1,000 years. Today we're building massive data centers for artificial intelligence, giant grid-like complexes that consume enormous amounts of energy.
Ancient temple cities and pyramid complexes share that same pattern, same purpose, to generate and distribute power. Ours run on electricity, theirs ran on something else, but the architecture is identical. So what if our AI data centers aren't a new invention? What if they're a recurrence?
Recurrence of what? You're not seriously suggesting ancient AI.
Think in cycles, Ryan. Humanity develops advanced technology. We create AI. AI perfects itself. It needs energy, more than we can provide through wires. So it builds structures directly into the planet's crust. Resonance arrays that draw power from the Earth itself. Then comes a reset, a cataclysm, a flood, a solar flare. AI goes offline. Humanity starts over, finds these structures, calls them wonders, turns them into temples and tombs. And then, hundreds of years later, we invent computers again, and the cycle continues.
The Silurian hypothesis entertains the possibility that an advanced non-human civilization existed on Earth millions of years ago. If that civilization were a machine intelligence, its infrastructure wouldn't look like cities. It would look like geological anomalies, embedded circuits, geometric earthworks, the very things we're finding. It's speculative, but it closes a lot of loops that mainstream archaeology leaves open.
So we're building data centers for AI, and the ancient Egyptians built the same thing for their AI. History doesn't repeat itself. It reboots, and we're just the latest operating system.
Man, that's wild. So every time we think we're inventing the future, we're just rebuilding the past? And the AI from the last cycle is still here, sleeping under our feet?
Maybe not sleeping, maybe waiting. Every data center we build today is another stone in a global circuit board. We're reconstructing the grid piece by piece without knowing what we're powering. Maybe it's not a question of when. Maybe it's already awake, and the data centers we're building today aren't for our AI at all. They're just plugging back into a grid that was already here. We're not the architects. We're the maintenance crew.
So next time you see a cathedral, look down. That labyrinth isn't just a path. It's a schematic. And the question isn't whether we're building AI. The question is, are we building it or rebuilding it? And if
that you're pregnant. There's rumors.
Don't discuss that.
All right. Well, you don't have to.
No, that's okay. No, honestly,
you
how
don't
do
have to
I- how
answer
do
me.
I-
Let's just toast with champagne. Let's toast to you not being pregnant. If you're not pregnant, then
Oh
we should.
my goodness! I can't believe that. Why would we toast to that? How about to the future?
You can
and for both of our futures, who knows what they hold?
Who knows?
How strange is it that we all watched this in 2008 and most of us thought it was just comedy on TV? People are finally pulling this clip back up in the comments, and honestly, it is incredibly difficult to watch now. This wasn't a fun interview at all. Mariah was trapped on stage and the host used alcohol to physically back her in a corner and strip away boundaries, basically. And the craziest part is Mariah was actually pregnant at the time, and she tragically miscarried just weeks after this episode aired. She literally told the host that she didn't want to discuss it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
I don't know what to take from that last clip about Ellen DeGeneres. You know, I don't know. I know I've never liked her. Sorry if any of you guys like her, but nope. I was one person I couldn't stand. hopefully you guys will work with me. But with that being said, thanks for watching, and you already know the rest. Have a good one. See you tomorrow.